Hello, my Biafran families, home and abroad. Good morning to you all. Happy new week, happy new month, and I wish everybody success. I've been waiting to do this video to tell my fans what have been happening. I might not be flow the same way I used to flow before because of for the past 5 days I have been hospitalized. So my voice cannot be so loud and I cannot shout because this media of 18 needs strength, and I don't have that enough strength to shout, but I must do my work. I have been hospitalized with what they call a dengue fever. You can Google it. You will know what I'm talking about. I spent 5 days, and that is why you people have not heard my voice. So please, I want to use this medium to apologize to all my subscribers, to people who depend on me for their daily news. Please make una do what? Make una forgive me. I take almost 27 to 28 bags of a drip just to make sure I flush the virus out of my system. So let us go to the reason why we are here this morning. Please, if you never subscribe to my channel, I want you to do that anytime soon. Like my content, share it, subscribe, and also comment on it. It is very, very important and very, very necessary. So without not missing words or taking much of our time, let's take the headlines. Kanu, the Kanu case is where we're going to start our news. IPOB makes a strong claim, says Supreme Court is under strict instruction from the presidency not to hear the matter before them. So this issue of the Kanu have been lingering. And the issue, the reason why they have to postpone the court sitting in this month of September 14th, telling us that they are going on holidays or they don't know when their holidays fall, but they still have a court sitting on 16th. You understand me? They still have Nigeria, or whatever they call it, FULANI control government of Nigeria, still have a court sitting on 16th of this month concerning the matter of P2B, the so-called APC president, and the Atiku Abubakar at the tribunal. So why they did not postpone that one, and they have to postpone the case of the Kanu? It means that these people have already concluded that the Kanu can never and will never be released again. The trajectory of hatred that the FULANI government, which is set by Muhammad Buhari, is still going through this so-called illegitimate president of the FULANI government of Nigeria, which I don't even know what to call him, that look like frog. You see, that is the problem we are having. And yet people will come out and tell me that, oh, they're doing everything humanly possible to release the Kanu, the likes of Simon Ekpa. Listen, I'm not here to attack anybody, but let us call a spade a spade. If you do sit at home from now until the kingdom come, my dear, they don't even care. Because what we are doing in that southeastern part of the country, thinking that we are doing the federal government, no, we are using our own hand to shoot ourselves, just like somebody carrying his own gun and shoot on his leg. That is what we are doing. It doesn't affect them. So forget about their shouting. It's only the southeastern governors. Yet, highest it will be a decrease on the allocation they receive from the federal level on monthly basis. But as for federal, the oil, the main oil, where they are getting the revenues, where they are getting all the whole money they are sharing, is going underground. It is not physical, it is spiritual. So anybody that doing anything apart from going to the federal government, the DSS, either suing them to international court or whatever, for the release of the Kanu, my dear, you are not doing it well. I know people will ask me, what can you do? What have you done? That is what they keep asking. Well, anybody have mouth to say whatever he or she likes. Yes, because we have a freedom of speech. Anyway, my wonderful people, I don't want to take much of our time. I want to just use this opportunity to do what? To give on what I have for us this Monday. So please, tighten your seatbelt because we are about to take off now. The flow might not be the same, but the message still remains the same. Queries: why it took federal government just 8 days to obtain stay of execution detaining IPOB leader Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu without a charge. But sadly, it is now over 1 year, and appeal filed by the same federal government at the Supreme Court is yet to be heard. IPOB movement, heavily led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, wishes to reiterate once again over what the federal government of Nigeria and the Supreme Court of Nigeria are doing towards the illegal detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in DSS custody in Abuja. It is obvious that the federal government or the FULANI government of Nigeria has literally abandoned their appeal against the Supreme Leader Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at the Supreme Court of Nigeria because they have no case against an honest man devoted to the emancipation of the oppressed and the downtrodden in our society. This being the biggest court case in the history of Nigeria, it is the duty of government to insist on diligent prosecution of the case rather than ruling away or running away from their own court. It is laughable that the person being persecuted by the federal government is the person asking them to come to court. It is not. Is that okay? Is this not bizarre? What it is that the federal government is afraid of in pursuing a case they themselves brought at the Supreme Court against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We would like to know, since the federal government and the judiciary are reluctant to hear this matter, is there any higher authority available to our leader to appeal to, since it is not likely that the Supreme Court of Nigeria will ever hear this matter? Well, my people, that hear them, make a follow up, please. Continue listening because you will hear things that will tingle your ear. It has come to our knowledge that a lot of the public discourse surrounding the legal issues at the heart of this case is fueled by ignorance in some quarters and blatant mischief making in others. Therefore, it had become incumbent upon the noble family of IPOB to put the record straight. All the faceless groups formed and sponsored by the DSS for purposes of misinformation should be guided appropriately to enable them appreciate the facts at play in this case. Therefore, embarking on their usual frivolity and misinformation, we make bold to say that the Supreme Court of Nigeria appears to be encouraging the illegal detention of our leader without any charge by failing to fix a date to hear a matter that they had already sat wise over. This is unheard of. Supreme Court own rules provides for accelerated hearing. Why is this rule not being adhered to in a matter of this magnitude, where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has already been discharged by the Appeal Court of Nigeria? In other hands, not many people know that it was the federal government of Nigeria that approached our own Supreme Court to challenge the judgment of the Appeal Court that discharged our leader. So we are at a loss to understand what the delay at the Supreme Court is all about. Unless they are under strict instruction from the presidency not to hear the matter before them. If this is the case, the federal government of Nigeria should be magnanimously enough to accept defeat. We can assure the federal government of Nigeria that we shall accept with all humility this unescapable reality. Number one, our leader, Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is still being illegally held in a solitary confinement of the State Security Service, SSS, in their Abuja dungeon on the pleasure of the federal government, despite being discharged by a competent punishment court in Nigeria. This clearly constitutes the gravest infraction of the laws and constitution of the Nigeria on the face of specific and clear pronouncement by the appellate court that Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released unconditionally and barred his further prosecution or trial before any court in Nigeria. Implicit in the above, therefore, is the fact that Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's continued detention is arbitrary, unconstitutional, and illegal, since he is not currently undergoing any trial before any court on the indictment or whatsoever. Number 2. The unfolding event at the Supreme Court of Nigeria, with particular reference to the cancellation of the original scheduled date for the hearing of the federal government appeal before the Supreme Court, is an indication that the federal government of Nigeria is hiding under the guise that the detention of our leader is lawful by relying on the unprecedented and unconstitutional order for stay of execution granted by the Malami constituted panel headed by Honorable Justice Sanami, but fails to understand that it is common knowledge and kindergarten law that no court worth its salt can stay a declaratory judgment of self-same court. In extant criminal jurisprudence as practiced in Nigeria, stay of execution is unknown to criminal law jurisprudence, according to the English they use here. So we have number 3 here. It is to be clearly stated that our leader, Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is the first and only person in the history of the Sharia legal code, British common law, which Nigeria's practices, or any other legal code, to remain in detention after being discharged by a competent court of law. The Justice Samani led panel is the first panel jurist since God created the world to stay the liberty of a defendant discharged by a competent court of law. This has never happened in the history of mankind. Number 4. Furthermore, the abhorrence for our leader, Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, by the federal government of Nigeria is easily fueling the blind and ill-informed destruction of the basic laws and safeguards they contained in the constitution of the FULANI government of Nigeria. The basic safeguard enshrined in all ancient legal codes, starting from Hammurabi, Mosaic law, Sharia law, to Magna Carta, to English common law of King Edward I in 1272. Our leader remains the one and only person in the history of mankind to remain in detention after being discharged, yet awaiting the validation of his release by a superior court. What Malami used Justice Samani to achieve is a reversal of the irreducible principle enshrined in the above ancient codes, which has now been destroyed by the Malami appointed panel of justice. Number 5. It is on record that it took Malami and his panel only 8 good days to obtain a stay of execution detaining our leader, Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, without a charge. But sadly, it is now over 1 good year, and the appeal filed by the same federal government at the Supreme Court is yet to be heard, if at all the cases will ever be heard, according to the writer. Number 6 on our list here. It is worthy to note that the same unreasonable and wicked delay has led to the ruling adjournment of the appeal against IPOB prescription, which has been pending before the Abuja division of the Court of Appeal since April 2018. The same federal government that illegally tagged the IPOB as a terrorist organization have refused to come to Abuja to meet the IPOB in their own court. This is because they have no case against the IPOB and cannot justify the legal basis for the politically motivated proscription of IPOB. It is perverse for a government to be running from their own court after obtaining kangaroo judgment. We are therefore calling on powers that be to stop being afraid of our leader, Unyendo Nnamdi Kanu, and have some decency to either prosecute their appeal at the Supreme Court or set him free. So my wonderful people, the Biafran brothers and sisters, all the lovers of Biafran freedom, now here we go take a leave on. And I see how they sound. The voice is not too clear, but the message is clear to everyone's understanding. So please, I would like you to help me share this message. Let this message go viral. Make sure that you get to every nooks and crannies. And make sure you subscribe, you like, and also you comment. I'll be right back again with another blockbuster. Try to manage my health and my voice as well. Have a nice day, and may the good Lord bless this week for us. It shall be well with every hand that tap amen, and it shall be well with every hand that share this message. I'll be right back with another blockbuster. Be of good courage, and may the good Lord empower you all, bless you, prosper you, and guide you in this new week and also in this new month. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Have a nice day. Bye for now, my wonderful people. Kemesian.